You've worked hard to build your life, your career, your strength, your peace. But all it takes is one wrong woman to destroy it. Not with violence, with charm, with tears, with just enough chaos to make you forget who you were before her. This video isn't about hating women. It's about protecting your power. I'll reveal the 10 types of toxic women who use emotions as currency and control as love. Learn to recognize them before they rewrite your story. Because the most dangerous love is the one that makes you forget yourself. Men are taught to win at everything, except emotions. You were trained to stay calm, fix problems, and protect others. But in relationships, that instinct often backfires. The more you fix, the more you lose control. That's not weakness. That's misdirected strength. Today isn't about learning to fight women. It's about learning to defend your boundaries. When you master that, you don't just avoid the wrong ones, you attract the right ones effortlessly. If that's the mindset you want, like this video and subscribe to stay sharp. Drop this in the comments. I protect my peace. Because peace isn't passive, it's power under control. Now, let's start where most men fall first, with the kind of woman who turns emotion into a weapon and your empathy into her control. Number 1. The emotional manipulator. She makes you believe that her emotions are your fault. When she cries, you apologize. When she goes silent, you chase. When she lashes out, you try to calm her down. Because somewhere along the line, you were taught that a real man fixes things. But in her world, the problem is never meant to be fixed. The problem is the fuel. This woman turns emotional chaos into control. Her mood swings aren't accidents, they're weapons. One day, she makes you feel like her hero. The next, she becomes the victim of something you did not do. And you, desperate to keep the peace, start managing her moods instead of your own. You stop expressing yourself because every truth you speak becomes another spark to her fire. It feels like love. Intense, unpredictable, addictive. But that's not love. That's conditioning. You're being trained to prioritize her comfort over your sanity. You start doubting yourself. Maybe I did hurt her. Maybe I was insensitive. That's exactly how she keeps you under control, by keeping you guilty. Real love requires two people regulating each other. Manipulative love needs one person constantly apologizing while the other dictates the emotional climate. The more you fix, the more broken you become. If she controls your peace, she already owns your power. Number 2, the micromanager. You no longer feel free inside your own home. At first, she calls it love, small corrections, harmless suggestions. Don't wear that shirt. Why do you talk to him? You should eat better. You think it's nurturing. You mistake control for care. But control never stays small. It spreads. It becomes the silent editor of your life. She tells you what to say, when to speak, and how to behave. Suddenly, you stop doing things you enjoy because they might trigger an argument. You shrink yourself to fit her version of who you should be. And every time you comply, you disappear a little more. This type of woman thrives on predictability. She wants a man she can monitor, not one she can trust. The more she corrects you, the more she feels secure, not in love, but in dominance. Her rules make her feel important. Your compliance proves her power. Eventually, you wake up realizing you've been trained to ask for permission, not because you fear her anger, but because you fear losing the illusion of peace. And that's how control works. It convinces you that freedom is chaos. Healthy love gives space. Controlling love builds walls and calls them boundaries. If you have to shrink yourself just to be loved, you're not being loved, you're being managed. If she has to shrink you to love you, it was never love. Number 3, the entitled queen. Her gratitude died the moment she got comfortable. In the beginning, She made you feel like a king. Every effort was praised, every gesture admired. But soon, appreciation turned into expectation. What used to impress her now barely meets the standard. No matter how much you give, she wants more. More time, more attention, more proof that you're worthy of her. This woman doesn't love balance. She loves leverage. In her mind, your value is measured by how much you can provide and how quickly you obey. If you ever pause to breathe, she calls it neglect. If you dare to set limits, she calls it selfishness. Gratitude requires humility, and entitlement has none. You start chasing her approval, confusing service with love. You think, if I give more, she'll finally appreciate me. But she won't. Entitlement is a hunger that never ends. She doesn't want partnership. She wants tribute. She mistakes your kindness for weakness and your patience for debt. One day you realize the truth. You've built a throne for someone who never intended to sit beside you. You've spent your strength trying to buy back a smile that was never genuine to begin with. You can't fix a heart that believes it deserves everything without earning anything. A woman who never says thank you will eventually make you forget your own worth. Number 4. The gold digger, the transactional lover. She never loved you. She loved your lifestyle, the dinners, the car, the social validation that comes with being your woman. To her, affection is currency and attention is payment. She knows exactly how to act like your dream until she gets what she wants. Then, she collects interest on your emotions. At first, you feel powerful. Her beauty validates your success. You tell yourself it's mutual. She gets comfort. You get pride. But deep down, you know it's a contract, not a connection. She performs intimacy. You perform generosity. And the moment either of you stops performing, the whole illusion collapses. This isn't about wealth. It's about validation addiction on both sides. She needs luxury to feel valuable. You need her admiration to feel significant. Two insecurities shaking hands under the disguise of love. The danger isn't that she'll leave when the money fades. It's that you'll keep paying long after she's emotionally gone. Paying with your time, your confidence, your peace. Because once you've invested, you'll do anything to protect the illusion of return. But real love doesn't have receipts. It doesn't demand proof of purchase. The moment affection has a price tag, loyalty becomes a transaction. If you pay for loyalty, what you bought was silence, not love. Number 5, the attention addict. She doesn't want you. She wants everyone watching her want you. Her world spins around validation, likes, comments, glances, and the subtle thrill of knowing she's being seen. Attention is her oxygen. When she doesn't get it, she gasps, claws, and creates chaos just to breathe again. You'll think she's charming, magnetic, irresistible. But that magnetism isn't intimacy. It's performance. She knows how to draw men in with just enough vulnerability to seem deep and just enough distance to stay untouchable. Every selfie, every flirtatious comment, every innocent friendship is a stage. You're not her partner. You're part of her audience. At first it feels flattering. You feel chosen. But over time, you realize the truth. She needs everyone's attention to feel whole, and no single man can ever fill that void. When the applause fades, she panics, and the only way she knows how to feel alive again is by chasing new eyes, new hearts, new dopamine. This kind of woman doesn't cheat for passion. She cheats for validation. She collects desire like trophies, proof that she still matters. You will never be enough for her, not because you lack anything, but because she's addicted to the chase, not the connection. She feeds on attention, and you're her favorite meal until she finds a bigger one. Number 6, the perpetual victim. Every story she tells ends with her being the one who suffers. Her pain is the centerpiece of every conversation, the currency she uses to buy attention, sympathy, and control. You meet her, and your instinct is to protect her. She's fragile, misunderstood, different from other women. But soon you realize her suffering never ends because it's not meant to. It's her power source. This woman is a master of guilt. If she cries, you feel responsible. If she fails, it's because you didn't support her enough. If she lashes out, it's because you made her feel that way. She flips accountability like a mirror. Every reflection comes back to you. You start overcompensating, apologizing, fixing what was never yours to fix. Her drama is not random, it's routine. She creates storms to stay relevant in your emotional landscape. Without chaos, she feels invisible. And the more you rescue her, the deeper she drags you into her endless cycle of self-pity. One day, you'll look at her and realize you're exhausted, not because she's broken, but because she refuses to heal. You've become her emotional insurance policy, paying the price for her unwillingness to grow. You can't love someone out of their own excuses. You can only drown in them. The moment you start saving her, she starts drowning you. Number 7. The serial lover. She falls in love fast, but never stays. The moment you meet her, everything feels electric. She looks at you like she's known you forever. She mirrors your thoughts, your humor, your dreams. You think you've found something rare. But what you've really found is someone addicted to the rush of beginnings. This kind of woman is intoxicated by the dopamine of discovery. She loves the fantasy more than the man standing in front of her. Every new relationship is a stage where she gets to play the lead role again, adored, desired, unbroken. The moment real life shows up, she loses interest. Routine feels like suffocation to her, and commitment feels like captivity. She'll tell you that you're different, that she's never felt this way before. You'll believe it, because for a moment, she believes it too. But the pattern never lies. She chases intensity, not intimacy. She needs the chaos of a new connection to distract her from her own emptiness. When she leaves, she won't look back. Not because you meant nothing, but because she's already fallen in love with someone new. Or with the idea of falling again. You'll be left replaying every moment, wondering what changed. The truth is, nothing did. She doesn't love men. She loves beginnings. Number 8. The emotionally unavailable. She disappears the moment you get close. One day she's soft, attentive, open. The next she's distant, distracted, unreachable. You replay conversations in your head, wondering what you did wrong. The truth is, you did nothing. She's addicted to control through uncertainty. This kind of woman operates in cycles of closeness and withdrawal. She'll draw you in with warmth, then pull away just when you start to trust her. Every time she withdraws, your instinct is to chase. That chase is what she feeds on. It makes her feel desired without having to be vulnerable. It's not about love. It's about power, disguised as mystery. Her fear of intimacy is camouflaged as independence. She'll say things like, "I just need space," or "I'm not ready for something serious." What she really means is, "I want your attention, not your access." You'll spend weeks trying to decode her moods, confusing silence for depth and inconsistency for chemistry. What you're feeling isn't passion, it's anxiety. Your nervous system has been trained to equate emotional starvation with desire. That's why even when you know she's wrong for you, you can't stop thinking about her. She will never fully give herself to anyone, because giving means losing control. And for her, control is safety. She keeps you hungry so you never realize she's starving too. Number 9. The dependent. She calls it love, but it's addiction. At first, it feels good to be needed. She texts constantly, wants to be with you all the time, tells you you're her whole world. You mistake that intensity for loyalty. You tell yourself, this woman will never leave. But dependency isn't loyalty. It's fear in disguise. She doesn't want partnership. She wants protection from herself. Her happiness depends on your presence, and her insecurities become your full-time job. When she's anxious, you reassure her. When she's jealous, you explain yourself. When she doubts her worth, you sacrifice yours to prove she's loved. This isn't love. It's emotional hostage-taking. You become responsible for regulating her moods, calming her fears, validating her existence. And every time you succeed, the bar moves higher. She starts measuring your affection by how quickly you respond, how much you give, how little of yourself you keep. Eventually, you realize that the woman who once adored you now resents you, because even your best efforts can't fill the void she carries. You're exhausted, resentful, and silently suffocating under the weight of her dependence. Real love thrives on two complete people choosing each other. Codependent love feeds on the illusion that one person can complete the other. The moment she needs you to breathe, you'll forget how to. Number 10, the unhealed one. She blames her trauma for everything, but never heals it. Her pain is real, her story tragic, and her past heavy. You see her brokenness and think your love can fix it. That's the trap. She doesn't want healing. She wants permission to stay wounded. And you, in your compassion, become the caretaker of her chaos. She'll tell you about the people who hurt her, how she can't trust, how she's working on herself. But working on herself usually means rewriting her trauma into justification. Every mistake becomes someone else's fault. Every explosion is because of what she's been through. You'll forgive her again and again because you see her potential, not her pattern. But unhealed people don't love with stability. They love with survival instincts. Her affection is inconsistent, her moods unpredictable, her empathy selective. One day she'll cling to you like oxygen, the next she'll disappear into silence, leaving you dizzy from the emotional whiplash. The longer you stay, the more you'll start doubting your own sanity. You'll begin apologizing for her pain, wearing her trauma like it's your responsibility. You'll think you're helping, but you're only delaying her healing and destroying yours. You can love her scars, but you can't survive her wounds. When you look back at these 10 types of women, you might realize you've already met a few of them, maybe even loved one. Each left something behind: confusion, exhaustion, maybe even shame. And if you're honest, it wasn't just what they did to you. It was what you allowed in the name of love. Every man who has fallen for a toxic woman has one thing in common. He gave away his power before she ever asked for it. He mistook chaos for passion, control for care, and attention for affection. He confused being needed with being valued. But here's the truth. These women don't take your power. They reveal how easily you surrender it. They show you the parts of yourself that crave validation, rescue, or approval. They expose the wounds you've never healed and the boundaries you never built. That's not weakness. That's awareness waiting to be claimed. You don't have to hate toxic women. You just have to outgrow them. The moment you stop chasing the chaos that feels familiar, you start choosing the peace that feels foreign. That's growth. That's power. So the next time you meet someone who reminds you of one of these types, pause. Don't argue with the red flags. Respect them. You don't owe anyone your peace, your sanity, or your self-respect just because you're afraid to walk away. A real man isn't defined by the women he attracts. He's defined by the women he refuses to let destroy him. If this message hit something in you, leave a comment below. I read every word. And if you're done repeating the same emotional patterns, subscribe now. Because understanding the female mind is only half the battle. Learning how to control your own is where the real game begins.